Hi, everybody, and thanks to the Indie Folk Series for hosting this awesome online event. And thanks to the Indie Irish Arts Academy for letting me teach on and off. It's been a pleasure knowing everybody, and it's great to have you here to share some of the great music that all these amazing people have. I want to make a little bit of a comment about what I'm going to share with you. I've been playing concertina for uh, since I was a teenager, and one of the things that I really love about this kind of music, the kind of music that we teach at the academy, and the kind of music that we play at the sessions and the Cayley band and everywhere, is that it's all about dance music, and it's all about people getting together and just having fun. And this week has been hard. This past week has been hard because we just lost a famous accordion player, Joe Burke, who was one of my inspirations for playing squeeze boxes of all variety. I also play accordion. And it sort of struck me after such a long year with losing so many amazing musicians that it's up to us. We're it now. And so, no matter what you can contribute, whether it's just learning a little bit of something, appreciating music made by people that you care about, anything is just really important to do now because we're all part of carrying on this tradition, and in a lot of ways, it's our time now. So I'm going to play a couple of tunes. I'm coming out of my post-COVID cocooning. I got my first vaccine, so I normally don't apologize for little rough spots, but there's a few rough spots here. The first tune is called "The Mortgage Burn," and it was originally published in the Cranford Collection, which is a Cape Breton collection of tunes. And so the suspicion is that it's a Cape Breton tune, but it's so heavily Cape Breton music is so heavily influenced by Irish and Scottish music that it's really hard to say. And this tune you can hear all over Cape Breton, all over sessions in the United States. It's really popular in Ireland now, and it's just a really fun little tune. The second tune is called Wing Commander Donald Mackenzie's, and it's a real barn burner, especially played by a bunch of people at a session or whatever. But it was written by Phil Cunningham, who's an accordion player, and you can look it up online. There are just some killer versions of this tune. So I'll give you a taste of what the tune sounds like, and then you can see what it can be done with in the hands of masters. But it's a super fun tune. So enjoy. Thanks for having me, and thanks for participating.
I'm Dimitri Alano, and I'm the director of the Irish Arts Academy of Indianapolis, where I teach penny whistle and the Irish flute. Tonight I'm going to play a set of 3 reels for you, accompanied by my friend Mario Hoven. The first reel is a tune called Far From Home. It's generally thought of as a Scottish tune or a Shetland Island tune, but Francis O'Neill, in his collection of tunes that he gathered at the beginning of the 20th century, has a note in there saying he found this melody while he was in the Sierra Nevada mountain range from a farmer who was whistling the tune. So who knows where the tune came from. But we do know where the second tune came from. That tune is called The Cap and Bells, and it comes from an album from the great composer, fiddle player and pianist, Josephine Keegan. And the last tune I'm going to play is called the Donegal Reel. And Donegal is a small town in West Clare on the west coast of Ireland. And that tune is generally attributed to Michael Russell, who is a whistle player from that area. So thank you again to the Indie Folk Series for having us. And if you'd like to donate to the Indie Folk Series or to the Irish Arts Academy of Indianapolis, I'm sure there's a link in the chat or somewhere where you can find it. Thanks again to Indie Folk Series, and thank you for listening. Hope you enjoy this set.
name is Brenda Sutton, and I have been with the Irish Arts Academy of Indianapolis since its inception. I showed up the first summer's week's worth of classes as a student, taking a fiddle class and a dance class, I think. And then I came back the next full semester to teach beginning and intermediate Irish and the bowron, the Irish frame drum, which is an extraordinarily versatile instrument. It's been around for a long time. It started out as a farming tool, threshing wheat. You throw your wheat in the middle, toss it up and down, the wind blows the chaff away, and what's left with you grind into bread. But the Irish are very innovative people, and they can make a musical instrument out of anything, including a farming tool. I've enjoyed playing it and sharing it with other people. So if you're interested in learning the bowron, get on the Irish Arts Academy of Indianapolis' website and sign up to learn how to play the bowron. It's usually played with a tipper, a wooden stick. There's lots of different types of tippers and a couple of different styles of playing it. It makes lots of interesting little clicky-clacky noises. But I've had to develop a technique over the years to play with quieter instruments. Currently I'm playing with a harper and a flute player in a band called a lair. That loud boomy noise would become a little obnoxious after a while, so this paintbrush technique lets me play not just the traditional Irish rhythms, but I can play jazzy rhythms. I can play conga. I can play rock rhythms with it. Any rhythm. You pick a rhythm, I can play with it. And so I'm going to sing a song for you. It's not a traditional Irish song. I wrote it back in 2017 to kind of explain how I came to love something that I initially really hated. I hated my name, always hated my name. That rough handle slapped upon me 'cause my dad liked Brenda Lee. I didn't choose it, I longed to lose it. It fit me like a lumpy sweater. How I yearned for something better, something sexy, something chic, something totally unique, like Valerie or Dulcinea. Just not Brenda, anything but Brenda, Brenda Lee. Then I changed my name, my first married last name, but it didn't prove a haven, 'cause the fellow's name was Craven. Names have power, Craven means coward, so a name that suited badly changed to something worse, and sadly I accepted, I quiesced, I allowed it, I confess that I became that name. Backwards Brenda, boring Brenda, cowardly Brenda, Brenda Lee. And then came Ireland, and Duchas Machree, where I learned Brenda means firebrand, raven-haired firebrand, where I saw the river Lee. Now I love my name, my wild Irish name. First I didn't understand it, but now I can command it. This name fits me, and so commits me down the pathway of my mother's stubborn ancestors, the others who contributed a piece to my generous release in the person I became. I am Brenda, firebrand Brenda, Lee-loving Brenda, Brenda Lee. Thank you, Indie Folk Series, for having the Irish Arts Academy of Indianapolis as a precursor to our upcoming St. Patrick's Day celebrations.
Oh, hi, I'm Mario Hoven. At the Indianapolis Irish Arts, I am the clerk of the exchequer, or the treasurer. And when I'm not busy cooking the books or skimming off the top, I get to play a tune every once in a while, like this next selection. It's written by Arthur Darley, and he called it Brookless Shore, but it became known as the Swedish Jig. So here it is. Arthur Darley's Jig, Brookless Shore, or the Swedish Jig.
Hello, my name is Alberta Lathan. I sing traditional Irish music and also play traditional Irish tunes on flute and tin whistle. And I'm very pleased to be part of the program this evening. I have been associated with Irish arts really since it started, and my role is that I teach traditional Irish singing when I'm available to do it, and then of course I am part of the organization itself. And so this evening, as I said, I'm glad to be here, and I especially appreciate the Indy Folk Series for teaming up with Irish Arts for this concert of traditional Irish music and song. So the song I'm going to sing this evening was written in 1898, although I first heard it in Ireland and I thought it was an Irish song, but what I realized is when it got over to Ireland from the US, they simply changed the names of the cities in it to Irish towns, and so all of a sudden it was an Irish song. So it's called The Trip to Morrow, and it was written by a man named Lou Sully. Now that's assuming, though, that the Irish didn't sing it first and that Mr. Sully somehow got it from there and brought it back to Ireland. So we'll never really know. So here it is, The Trip to Morrow. Oh, it's about a trip that takes longer than it should. Oh, I started on a journey just about a year ago to a little town called Morrow in the county of Mayo. I'd never been much of a traveler, so I really didn't know that Morrow was the hardest place I'd ever try to go. I went down to the station, put my money on the desk, not meaning to cause trouble with my innocent request. I said, my friend, I'd like to go tomorrow and return no later than tomorrow, for I haven't time to burn. The station master looked out of the tiny window pane. His face was red, he scratched his head, he started to explain. You should have gone tomorrow, yesterday, and not today, because the train today, tomorrow, is an hour upon its way. If you'd have gone tomorrow, yesterday, now don't you see? You could have gone tomorrow and been back today by 3. But the train today, tomorrow, if the timetable's right, today it goes tomorrow and comes back tomorrow night. I said, you must be joking or talking through your hat. Is there a town called Morrow on this line, or is there not? There is, says he, but take from me a quiet little tip. To go from here to Morrow is a 24-hour trip. I want to go tomorrow, why can't I go today? And get tomorrow by tonight if there is no delay. But my friend, he said, I only have one further thing to say. You've talked so long, the trains are gone. Here you'll have to stay. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Indie Folk Series, and thanks for having us on tonight. My name is Jennifer Midkiff, and I am the harp instructor for the Irish Arts Academy of Indianapolis. The harp is a magical instrument in Irish culture, and it features prominently in folklore and in myth, but it shows up today in a lot of places. You'll find it on their money. You'll find it on the flag. You'll find it on the beer bottles, of course. Especially if you like Guinness. But I really love to teach this beautiful instrument. It has so many possibilities. So when I teach through Irish Arts Academy, we teach both the traditional solo playing, where you need to learn how to do a melody in your right hand and accompaniment in your left hand. But my favorite part of being part of Irish Arts is when we can all get together and play together in a session. And for that, I teach the skill of comping, or accompanying, which means that we're teaching a two-handed accompaniment, and to be able to improvise such an accompaniment by ear in a session where people start a tune that you may not even know, but it's your job to figure out those chords and play along. It's a lot of fun. And it's a lot like solving a puzzle, but there's more than one right answer. And so you'll hear variations from player to player as we comp, whether it's the guitar or the harp. We tend to have different go-to moves, and it's a lot of fun to hear how those moves can work together. So tonight I'm going to play a set of 3 tunes for you. And the first one is called A Nini, and it's a quiet lullaby. It's little bird, go to sleep, go to sleep. Or the child is that little bird. The second tune is called Sonny's Mazurka. Now the mazurka does not sound like an Irish dance, and indeed it is not. It originated in Poland, but when the Irish heard mazurkas, they took to them like Chicagoans to pizza. And so mazurkas definitely have been adopted by the Irish as part of their heritage and their culture as well. We're going to go from there. I'm going to make a little hop over the water to Scotland for our third tune, which is called The Brig of Perth. And this is a strathspey, which is a little bit slower than a reel, but doesn't have quite the same feel as an Irish hornpipe. Fills kind of the same niche speed-wise. So, A Nini, Sonny's Mazurka, and The Brig of Perth.
I mentioned that I also teach an introductory beginning class and an intermediate class in the Irish language for Irish Arts Academy of Indianapolis. I fell in love with the Irish language the first time that I heard Maureen O'Hara say those words in The Quiet Man. And then later in the late 70s, I found a Chieftains album, and on the back of it, they had put the actual Irish words to the song that they had sung. And I was amazed. I'm looking at these words and hearing these words and looking at these words and hearing these words and trying to figure out how in the heck they correlated to each other because I didn't understand Irish pronunciation rules. And that set me on my quest to learn more about this fascinating language. It gives me an insight into the Irish mindset that shows me how deeply embedded poetry and music are in their everyday speech. And I learn something wonderful about it every single day, and I have an awful lot of fun passing it on to other people. I'm going to sing a song for you called Cadation Nuntation, and this is a song that I put my own spin on it. I've created a translation for it, so you'll understand what I'm singing about. Is Gil me movo, Kuk Fanta, Aragadas Marini, we all. Ma old Montaragas Mavona Monton, or Cadation Dantation, Nakmonian Shindo. Ma old Montaragas Mavona Montor, or Cadation Dantation, Nakmonian Shindo. I went to the fair, sold my cow, she was old, for 5 pounds in silver and a guinea of gold. If I drink up my silver, if I spend what I've got, oh, what matters the matter to those it should not. If I drink up my silver, if I spend what I've got, oh, what matters the matter to those it should not. Mahain na kula quivi kuna smira no kano antuli jiega no vokalakbo. Mahirum shalu or for cranian of saw. Ho kadishin dantishin nakwan shindo. Mahirum shalu or for cranian of saw. Ho kadishin dantishin nakwan shindo. If I wander picking berries or nuts in the wood, taking apples from branches, or become a cowherd, or relax neath an hour or a tree's shady spot, oh, what matters the matter to those it should not, or relax for an hour neath a tree's shady spot, oh, what matters the matter to those it should not. Shikwi Garnilis ring sport, Wiginagus Rosis Gaknujan sort, Mavina Dina Sugaches Bavim Sugalo, O Kadishin Dandishin Nakmunian Shindo, Mavina Dina Sugaches Bavim Sugalo, O Kadishin Dandishin Nakmunian Shindo. If I go for night visits to dance or play sport, fairs or to races or things of that sort, if I'm with tipsy people and I drink like a sot, oh, what matters the matter to those it should not. If I'm with tipsy people and I drink like a sot, what matters the matter to those it should not. Jardina go il mi gan rough. Doi ganere ganida kan bolak na store ak mata misha sasta mahoni gro o kadish nandishin nakponin shindo ak mata misha sasta mahoni gro o kadish nandishin nakponin shindo. Folks say that I have nothing, no land, no hope, no possessions, no clothing, no cattle to row. But if I'm happy living here in the hovel I've got, oh, what matters the matter to those it should not. If I'm happy living here in the hovel I've got, oh, what matters the matter to those it should not. Kadishin dantishin akmonyen shendo. And thanks again, Indie Folk Series, for having us here. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dave Baghdad. I teach tenor banjo, mandolin, and guitar with the Irish Arts Academy of Indianapolis, and you can sign up for lessons with me right now at the website. I'm just going to show you a little bit about what I do and what you can learn to do. I'm going to play a couple of tunes here, first on the Irish tenor banjo, and then a trio of tunes on the mandolin. Now, the tenor banjo and the mandolin and the guitar are all relative latecomers to Irish music. The mandolin and guitar sort of made their way over sideways from the British Isles, and the tenor banjo is actually a reverse import from the United States, where it was very popular around the turn of the last century going forward. So all of these have now been thoroughly adopted and incorporated into Irish music. So the tunes that I'm going to play for you on the banjo are a couple of jigs. They're called the Wandering Minstrel and the Black Rogue, and they're pretty typical in terms of Irish jigs, as you'll hear in a minute. And the one thing that you'll notice about banjo playing is it tends to be very ornamented. There's lots of little triplets and little hiccups and things like that, as you'll hear. And then after that, I'll play a couple of tunes. I'll play a set of tunes on the mandolin that's sort of Scottish, Cape Breton, Irish. It's a march called Glencoe Hall, and then a strathspey called Loch Nagar, and then a good old Irish reel called Devaney's Goat. So I hope you enjoy them. Please sign up for lessons, or please let me know if you have any questions. I also host the Kitchen Party Ceilidh radio program here in town, and you can reach me at Kitchen Party Ceilidh, that's CEILIDH, at gmail.com. And I want to say thanks to Indie Folk Series for hosting us, and enjoy the tunes.
My name is Robin. I am the fiddle and concertina instructor with the Irish Arts Academy, and I am going to play a set of jigs on concertina. I have been calling this my goose set because the first tune is called Geese in the Bog, and this is a session tune that I've played for years and years, and I don't even really remember where I learned it. I've played it for so long. And the second tune is called Gander at the Prady Hole. This tune we learned with the Cayley Band a few years ago for a competition, and it's just a really nice tune, so I made sure it stuck around in my memory. So this is Geese in the Bog and Gander at the Prady Hole.
So now that you've heard the faster side of the harp, I wanted to share with you a little bit more of its contemplative side. Now, Turlough O'Carolan is one of Ireland's most famous harpers of all time. And it's even the more amazing to me because he was blind. He was blinded by smallpox, which is still blinding people in parts of the world where they don't have smallpox vaccines or haven't eradicated it yet. And he dedicated his life to music. He spent the rest of his life traveling around Ireland, staying in people's homes and composing tunes in their honor. So the tune I'm going to play for you tonight is called Kitty McGuinness. And Kitty was the daughter of Arthur McGuinness, probably from a place called Tempo in County Fermanagh. I learned this piece after hearing Grania Hambley play it. She is a multiple All-Ireland winner on the harp, and this is inspired by her arrangement. So here we are with Turlough O'Carolan's tune, Kitty McGuinness.
Oh, good evening. I hope you're enjoying our presentation tonight. My name's Mario Hoven, and I'm proud to be a member of the Indianapolis Irish Arts. And I'm especially thankful to the Indie Folk Series for hosting us tonight. The Indie Folk Series is an all-volunteer organization, and they bring folk music from across the country right to us here in Indianapolis, so thank you. When I first joined the Indianapolis Ceilidh Band, we learned this tune. That's our next selection. It's a barn dance, and it's called "Oh Mother Dear, My Toes Hurt." Or I've seen it as "Oh Mother Dear, My Toes Are Sore." I think that name migrated, as it does in the folk tradition, from a jig to this barn dance. And I think this barn dance was originally called "Evening's Pleasure." But I like "Oh Mother Dear, My Toes Hurt" much better. So, enjoy the selection.
next song I'm going to sing is called Lord Courtown, and it's a traditional Irish ballad. It came from County Wexford. County Wexford is in the southeast corner of Ireland, and I have been visiting County Wexford at least once a year since 2006 and sometimes more. I always go for the Wexford Singers Club singing weekend, where about 100 singers, most from Ireland, but a few from other countries as well, meet at a hotel and sing lots of songs and drink Guinness and generally have a very good time. So I've made a lot of friends over the years. And so this particular song, when I learned it was about that county, I was very interested in it. It's based on historical events, and it is about Lord Courtown, and his real name was the 4th Earl of Stopford, and he owned quite a bit of property in County Wexford, and in the mid-1800s, he funded a lot of public works projects that kept people employed, and that was very important as a part of famine relief at the time. And also, some of these public works involved quite a bit of engineering and technology for that time, and so I also found that very interesting as well, and so you can listen. And in fact, one of the viaducts that was part of one of these projects is still there in County Wexford. It's back in the woods. You have to go on a hike to find it, but some of this construction is still there. So although the main house was raised earlier in the 1900s. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy it. How happy our countrymen when seasons do come on, to hear the lark and linnet melodiously sing songs. Likewise the thrush in every bush their melting notes do ring, to welcome home Lord Courtown in the days approaching spring. The trees grow tall and handsome, the leaves with honey droop, and underneath the swan does swim with his long neck and stoops. Likewise the common angler with his long line and hook, to convey the trout and salmon out of the charming brook. This lord he built a castle at the rising of yon hill. The works of it were marbled on with artifice and skill. There's no sort of stroke work with it that could e'er be equalized. It's embellished with green ivy that never fades nor dies. This lord, he sank a river more plainly to be seen. He sank it to a certain depth, full 15 feet run clean. The straits of Gibraltar couldst ne'er so rapid roar. The streams of Onivara flow into the Courtown shore. One day I was amusing on this sweet Courtown bank. The sun shone bright and clearly, while kind Neptune played a prank. 'Tis there I spied the most charming maid, most charming to be seen. In her figure she came biting down, her measure maids wore green. There was Flora at the helming, and Aurora to the stern. Likewise her gallant fine seamen their course for to steer on. I being so much delighted at her fine sails all o'er, I thought myself in paradise down by the Court Town shore. I have been in New Zealand and likewise in Peru. Of many other ancient places my eyes have took a view, but such places as Court Town my eyes didst ne'er behold. It far outshines proud Mexico, where her banks are lined with gold. Thank you.
Hello again. Well, we've almost come to the end of our show. We've got one more piece for you tonight. But before we go, we'd like to extend our sincerest thanks to the Indie Folk Series. And thanks to the artists for giving up their time and sharing their talent. And especially, thank you for tuning in tonight. It was our pleasure to share our music with you. If you're so inclined to donate to either the Indie Folk Series or Indianapolis Irish Arts, we'd appreciate it. Both of the organizations are committed to bringing and teaching the best quality music here in Indianapolis. Remember to stick around after the show. Some of the artists are hanging out to chat with you and talk about music and just to visit. We're all looking forward to a brighter day when we can spend time together in person and play some music and share each other's company. And there's no better way to part than with flowers. We'd like to end this evening with a lovely hornpipe called the Sunflower Hornpipe. Thanks again. Good night.